Sweet. Okay. All community meeting November 9th. We are past the 1 year mark of shows at Highwire, which is pretty cool. A couple days ago, I think the 6th was the first show. And so yeah, we're here. Didn't stop. So that's exciting. Typical updates today. It won't be a huge amount of committee updates. Been talking a lot about 2022 strategy. We'll talk a little bit about how that's going to get rolled out and when to expect kind of a community discussion on the year ahead. So it'll be a little bit more focused on that. And then we'll do a normal Q&A. Reminder of the core values of transparency, safety, community, and action. And as we've been keeping at the front of this presentation for a little while now, COVID updates and show status. We updated our this living document. I can send a link if people care. It's basically says the same thing it said for a couple months, which is here are the current mandates or lack thereof in Maryland and Baltimore respectively. Baltimore still under the mask mandate for indoors. And we update the figures on kind of vaccination rates and community transmission level per the CDC every month. So November is updated in there. We also go and check the sites and see if there's any changes to guidance about people, and the safety of various activities. There's been no change or anything with that for a while now. Maybe at some point they'll provide some updated guidance on like the difference between people who've had the booster or not. But my guess is no. My guess is it's going to remain kind of what the CDC guidance is currently for a while. As such, indoor shows still postponed indefinitely. Outdoor shows continue, but limited through the winter. So we've already confirmed with both the Crown and Old Line that we won't be doing any more outdoor shows with them until the spring. The first Friday Highlandtown Art Walk, we did one this past Friday, and we may continue that depending on what they do. I think that's a bit up in the air, but otherwise expect pretty much all online from now until the spring, unless there's some miraculous change in COVID numbers and people can do things indoors safely all of a sudden. But for seasons 5, it's pretty much all online. Talking about season 5 and kind of the overall programming and space discussions. Season 5 has started. Seeing still really great involvement in terms of teams wanting to do online shows, which is great. We kind of went into season 5 planning to go for 5 days a week again, and that's basically what we got with some specialty programming on top of that. Some holiday things that happen on the other 2 days of the week, Wednesday and Saturday. We got the day before Thanksgiving parade, which we'll send some stuff out about participating in shortly. Millie has been taking submissions for Follow All Laughs. I think that's already at least like half booked, which is great. And doing the Black Hallmark Christmas special as part of Black Joy Friday. So a lot of thematic stuff. Super excited about that. We're taking about 2 weeks off between mid-December and the start of the year, rather than try and power through the holidays a little bit more than we did last year, which I think everybody is happy for. I was clearly still in work mode when I wrote this slide because I said looking to resume in the sprint. This is not an agile development season. Looking to resume in the spring. We have talked to a couple of other venues actually on the Old Line shows. We had I think Guilford and Checker Spot both reached out to inquire about doing shows, both excited about doing it, but also waiting until the spring. So looking to have season 6 be bigger and better in that way. That would be awesome if we could work for Sprint. Oh man, I feel like that would be like the Sprint / previously Verizon guy would be a great like guest to draw people in you'd think would be like not very good, but then turns out to be great. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he was like a sleeper, hilarious stand-up. that's what I'm going to believe in my head until I'm proven otherwise wrong. And education, we are kind of going TikTok at this point, doing workshops for, we did October workshops. We are pausing them for November. I think we'll resume some workshops in December. Demand has been really kind of all over the place for online workshops as of late. We've seen some sell out. We've seen some really struggle to get anybody to sign up. And beginning to focus some attention on curriculum structure for review at the start of the year, 101, 201 stuff. Again, looking towards springtime when that can hopefully be done in person. But on top of that, what's been really exciting over the last couple of weeks, actually, we've had a few really good meetings talking about applied or corporate style improv workshops. Darren and Sam have joined a couple of us in some meetings to talk through two things really. One is, what would be an initial use case for applied improv programming that would be maybe underserved in the market right now, or a place we could start. And so we're looking to put together some stuff for college career centers as a niche that we could try out, kind of get our feet wet and see how all the operations of that work, but also how we want to structure a program like that, how to do that the right way here. Everything from creating safe spaces for those programs, but also making sure that we do things like instructor bookings and instructor payments the right way. And then we've had actually a couple other inbound leads for more traditional corporate improv workshops that we are exploring now, and hopefully have some follow-ups on soon. But I'll look for more of that to come out again. November, December probably will be a little bit bigger part of the 2022 strategy than we maybe originally thought. But it's great because it's a way to get money in the door and also a way to connect with people who maybe wouldn't otherwise find us from I want to be a comedian point of view, which is great. To that end, we've worked to begin kind of establishing 2022 strategy. Plan is we'll use next month's meeting to go pretty in depth into everything related to the 2022 strategy. We'll look to send out some materials about that ahead of the next community meeting so people have a chance to read through it, prepare any questions, figure out how they would like to get involved. We're also looking at building out an updated committee structure model that potentially could follow our seasons model, so that rather than kind of vaguely joining the education committee for an unknown period of time and being asked to do unknown things, people could sign up to work on a committee for a season. And what we would do is plan kind of on a quarterly basis. Hey, here's what we need out of these committees next quarter, so people could know roughly what they would be signing up for. We'll try it. We've had kind of mixed success with the different committees. Hard to tell how much that is COVID, online meeting fatigue, bad structuring on our part, or something else. So we're trying something new and we'll see how it goes. Money-wise, pretty typical things, a few unusual things that pop up here. Workshop payments and donations are the typical income. That's been pretty consistent. Expenses had some of the typical things. We did have some instructor fees come in late from people having to wait weeks for the postal service to deliver their checks. So those didn't quite line up month over month. We had to renew our domain. So software fees, that class of accounting a little higher than usual. And then we did ourselves buy some Highwire decks to have for in person. So a little bit of an expense there as well. But still, pretty typical, feel comfortable about where we are financially. Still very anxiously awaiting the 501c3 decision. As of a few days ago, the government was 2 to 3 weeks away from our processing date. So they've started processing applications from April. We submitted on April 22nd, so we're getting close. Still hoping to get that through the end of the year. We have a couple of things planned for 2022 in terms of Kickstarters, donation programs, some levels that will start to take advantage of that more directly. And then kind of last thing here on The growth numbers, really the same story as we've been saying every week, every month here. Slow, steady, pretty linear growth of all of our following and viewership numbers. One thing that we definitely want to talk through as we look to 2022 is, given that online is likely to be a pretty consistent part of our programming slate, even as things open up, how can we start to invest more directly into building up our YouTube viewership, which has been pretty stagnant. And, I think online viewership has generally declined since winter of last year for everybody. And that's fine. But, if we're going to continue to invest in online programming, we want to make that worthwhile for the teams participating, making sure that they have audiences, they're getting something out of it other than, what effectively becomes a practice show, which is not the outcome we want. And so we haven't really invested very much in like the YouTube channel building, for lack of a better term. And we can. So that's something we were thinking about. But otherwise, we are starting to see a little bit of an uptick in general. I think, as the numbers grow, there is a little bit of an exponential growth to them, but we're at the very flat part of the exponential curve where it looks like it's not exponential. I've lost some people in the audience, I fear, by talking about too much math. So I will stop here and say thank you and ask if there are any questions. Anything I should have covered that I didn't? Otherwise, I will stop the recording and say thank you and let you all on your way. Huzzah. Thank you, everyone. We'll do this again next month. Yeah.
Can't wait.
Talk soon.
See you soon.
Bye.